Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Soulja Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant McPherson, and on this show, we discuss military topics with current and prior service members. So today, you guys, we're gonna be doing part two of the new Army CSDP inspection of DA Form 7768. I'm just gonna be talking about in this section, you guys. I'm gonna be talking about. It's gonna be section J and section K, you guys. So that's what we're going on. Make sure you guys stay tuned to this video. Okay, you guys, like I was saying before I get started, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. Make sure you guys are. Let me know if you got any suggestions for future episodes, you guys. So we're gonna get straight into it. So section J is the management of loads on the DA Form 7768, you guys. So, like I said, so first thing it says commanders ensure basic loads are maintained properly. So it says unit designated by their ACOM, ASCC, DRU will maintain loads of class 1, 2 with maps, 3, class 4, 5, and 8, except medical repair part supplies. Stock levels are prescribed by ACOM far as the medical supplies. Authorized quantities will be on hand or on request. National Guard units are not authorized to maintain basic loads. So it says you can find the information for that in AR 17-4, paragraphs 3-1, 3-2, 3-13, 3-4, and 3-5. So it says this section would be a no-go until the unit supply rooms clean up their match sit for provisions. Unit supply are required to have a basic combat load of 15-day stockage built in GCSS Army that is developed and justifies on the basic of local experience. Class 1 is not maintained currently. Requests are sent to SSMO. Class 5 is maintained on the property book. Of course, you guys know Class 5 is maintained on the property book. That's ammunition. For as basic loads, you guys. So yeah, and then the next question says maintain a 15-day, 7-day if item is available in the SSC stock of expendable and durable class 2, class 3, class 4, and class 8 supplies based on allowances in CTA 50-970 and CTA 50-8-100. Operational loads of class 3 supplies are maintained by units as directed by their ACOM, ASCC/DRU. Units will maintain proper documentation for authorized stockage levels per Army regulation. So it tells you guys right there. So, but it's saying until units clean up their max sit, it'll be a no-go. So the inspector, let me see. So that was the last question for management of loads. The question is only 2 questions for that. So the inspector really can give you a no-go if your max sit is not cleaned up, you guys. So what they mean by cleaning up your max sit is, so whatever is in your supply room has to match what's on your max sit. So if you're not issuing supplies, you can receive a no-go for that. So just for instance, if you got, let's say you got five notepads on your match sit, but in your supply room you only got 3, you can receive a no-go in that section because you didn't issue out those 2, you guys. And that's the management of loads. Of course, you also know you got to have if you do have if your provisions is cleaned up, your max sit is cleaned up, you also want to have your basic load memorandum with the supplies that you need for a 15-day supply, and also the other classes. So, um, so far as basic loads, you guys, you need to know what equipment, if you was get to deploy it. Right now, it's just saying a 15-day supply, but I've been in the unit to where like you have certain things where you already know you have like 3161s and stuff in place to where you know what equipment is going with you forward, or if however the training is or whatever it is. So for inspection purposes, you guys, it's just a 15-day supply. You can find that regulation in AR 710-4, paragraph 13-6, 13-7, and 13-8. So that's just and it also say you want to have your basic load built in GCSS Army, you guys. So just make a reservation strictly for your basic loads, class 2, and just have that stuff in the supply room or already on order, you guys. The next section I'm gonna go over today is training and development. So it says is professional development training provided to all personnel on a semi-annual basis. Example: sub-hand receipt procedures, property inventory, component hand receipts, shortages, the receipt shortages, the receipt and return of supplies, serviceable, unserviceable stuff. So they're gonna check your SOP to see if you have certain training set up to where you train your sub-hand receipt holders or whoever or the unit in general on different topics, as far as like hand receipt training, um turning the turn in process, if they want to have, if they have unserviceable items on their hand receipt, that they can just bring it to supply, and how that process works, you guys, because a lot of times people give people stuff and they don't know the proper, they don't know that they need to let them know the supply sergeant. They need to let to the supply sergeant know when they giving this stuff to other people or letting them borrow it and stuff like that, so they can make an informed decision regarding their equipment, you guys. And it says it's a supply battalion is for conducting training for this personnel within the unit at least every 6 months. So yeah, so that's your low density training, you guys. Of course, you want to have some type of low density training where um, you are informing people and training people on certain supply procedures. Uh, and it says they're going to request to see a copy of sign-in roster and memorandum for record signed by the unit battalion commander on that stuff. The next one is, hey, stop. The next one is, it's a battalion. It says, our supply personnel trained on a monthly basis on MOS related tasks. So it says, it's a battalion is for conducting training on MOS related tasks on a monthly basis. Is the unit supply conducting training within their section? Request to see a copy of sign-in roster and memorandum for record signed by the battalion X or battalion S4. Training must be scheduled on the training calendar for the unit and battalion as to see the published training calendar. So they're gonna ask to see that memorandum for training, you guys, and that's an inspectable item to make sure people are getting trained monthly. The last one is verify that a school trained supply person is working in a supply position. If they are not a non-T Yankee, verify they completed required training to be in that position. Have a discussion on how they would handle this situation. If they can articulate the procedures they receive, a go. So yeah, so this basically if anybody who works in a supply position, they have to complete the same training. So whether you are different MOS and you are doing a non-C Yankee task, you still have to be trained in certain. You still have to have certain certifications on file to be in that position. And that's just your supply search, you guys. You want to make sure you have your supply search on hand, and that's pretty much it, you guys. For section J and section K, that was management of loads and training and development. Like I said, just to summarize what I just went over, you guys, the management of loads, you're gonna receive a no-go off top if your provisions doesn't match your match sit. Um, and then if it does match, you also want to make sure you at least have your basic load memorandum and make sure whatever's on your basic load memorandum is in on order, or you have it in your supply room in GCSS Army. And as far as training, of course, you want to just make sure you have your memorandums, your low density training memorandums, training calendar. You can show the inspector that's saying that, okay, we are conducting these trainings on a monthly or semi-annual basis, you guys. And that's pretty much all I wanted to go through today. I'll see you guys in part 3. This has been another episode of Soulja Talk the podcast, and I'll see you guys at formation.